3 minutes early for once. Bonjour, ohayou gozaimasu, guten Morgen, good morning. Morning, Metal Man, Kat, Casey, how are y'all? Thanks, Metal Man. Man, starting it off with a high. Hey, Aaron, how you going? What's sleep? I have no idea what sleep is. Yes, even I drink Black Rifle coffee. That is correct. And it's good. Hey Curtis, how you going? Hey Roy, how you going, man? Thanks for dropping in. How's it going, Paul? Jared, how we going? Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. It's evening where you guys are, most of you. Hey, Bryson. Fair enough, Aaron. No flux here today. Not at least, yeah, no forge welding today. You see blue skies outside. Oh, that's good. It's a bit grey and overcast over here. I got the idea, Paul. So today we're turning some 1070 stock into some turning chisels. Turning chisels are chisels for use on a wood lathe. Yeah, well, clear skies after smoke is normally a good sign. Yeah, no, I'm making my dad's birthday present. It's his birthday this week on Wednesday, and so I'm making him a set of lathe chisels, turning chisels. Hey, Lane. Hey, Dragonwater. Hey, Matt. How we going? But yeah, so I'm going to be making some turning chisels, some lathe chisels for my dad. He took back the lathe that used to be here. Those of you who have been subscribed to the channel for a while remember. Finally took it back. But unfortunately, he didn't have any lathe turning chisels, and I told him not to buy any because it's something that I can make quite easily. So the hope is to make, he already knows I'm making them. I had to tell him not to buy any, so he knows that I'm making them. But I'll be making a gouge, a parting tool, and a skiving chisel. Oh, happy birthday, Aaron. Oh yeah, you need to forge some carving chisels. Gouges. A little bit different to turning chisels. The geometry is just a little different on turning chisels. Hello, Jim MM. How you going? Beard guy is an entirely suitable form of address. For me, at least. Oh man, I heard that, Aaron. Hey, Bobby, how you going, man? Hey, Logan. You can make a checkering tool. Like, obviously, back in the 1800s, they were making all of their checkering tools and stuff like that. It's basically the same as making a file, but it's a single line of teeth. Honestly, I would buy them because you can buy tungsten tipped ones that are going to last a lot longer and they're going to require a lot less screwing around trying to make them work properly. Yeah, they've done the research for you. Yeah, Victoria's still in the middle of a lockdown. Western Australia is basically lockdown free, but our borders are very closed. We're keeping a hard border against anyone, including fellow Australians. My zone, I think it's green. I don't know the zoning. Basically, we don't have any coronavirus here in Western Australia. Yeah, that's probably the best way to go, Curtis. I think that's the way I'm going to go, even though I have the ability to make them. I just don't have the time to be working that out. Even Adam, unfortunately. We were trying to get him down because he was supposed to go to the US, but obviously travel outside the country is a little bit of a pain right now. So he's got all this time off. So we wanted him to come down here and hang out and do some forging, but border's closed, so he can't come. So he's stuck up there in the Northern Territory. Sucks to be him. That's all right. Your English is fine, Jim. Yeah, fair enough, Roy. It's one of those things. Extreme social distancing, as they say. So just waiting for the steel to get up to heat. I'm using it's a jackhammer bit that was part of the kit that the Hexhawk stock came from, made by the same company. So it should be 1070. I'm crossing my fingers here. I might cut and test a piece at the start of the stream, just to make sure I'm not wasting my time. Oh yeah, podcast is going great, Roy. We'll have you back on one day. We've got quite a few interviewees lined up. All right. This has got a flat tip on it, so I'm just going to knock that tip off and use that as my testing medium. And don't worry, Preston is definitely going to be getting it play today, because there is no way I am working this whole bar out by hand. Might just use this to heat it up. I'm just heating the cut tip up, and I'm going to quench it in water. I'm seeing marten sight. That's a good sign. Get myself a round file. Can't hear anything. Oh yeah, that's hard. Bit of decarb, but that's fine. Okay, so this is hardenable material, which means that it's good to make chisels out of. That pretty much confirms to me that it's about 1070, given that it was made by the same company for the same purpose or similar purpose. I think I might use the flat dies on Preston. Hey Matt, how you going? Yeah, I'm hoping so, Roy. We'll just keep steadily working at it. I do have that giant chunk of chisel you sent me, Jared. Yep, using the post box, of course. The wives of a blacksmith. That'd be a bad idea. Hands all right, Dogbone. There's still a bit of soreness in the rear knuckle, but I can use it. So speaking of the Forgecast, I'm actually listening to the Forgecast tunes while we're on here. The joy of 3M WorkTunes Bluetooth headset. Not sponsored, sadly. I'd love to be sponsored by 3M. Hey, Cameron Jones, how you going? Fair enough, mate. That's all good, Techron. Gotta pay the bills. The chaotic, yeah. If anyone ever asks you what eclectic means, just simply show them the Forgecast tunes playlist. Sorry, just lining up the camera on Preston. Going down. Yes, Cubitrons rock. I'm gonna give you a bit of a zoomed out view of Preston this time. Yeah, that was pretty funny, Jared. All right. Well, you never know, Aaron. That might happen. We are very eclectic people. Just taking little bites to draw that out. Hey Sean, Preston says hi too. Ah, well, Aaron, he is. Hey, old wolf, how you going? Yeah, you hear a couple of chickens. This is the most hand-friendly chicken that we've got. This is Miss Peaks, or Peaky as we call her. She had a severe underbite because the battery where she was kept, they trim the top beak so that they don't peck each other to death, and they trimmed hers back quite a way. There you go. There you go. There you go. This is my parrot chicken. My eye is not a bug. She sometimes get that idea in her head. Downtime? Yeah, I think downtime. Okay. Easy. Good girl. There you go. Not a pan-friendly chicken. It's an egg chicken. Oh, cool, old wolf. That's great. See you later, Jared. Have fun with the demo. Yeah, no, they're definitely a lot healthier. Oh man, 12-inch disc, that's awesome. Yeah, she's been handled a lot because when we got her, as I said, she had a severe underbite. So in order to make it possible for her to eat properly off the ground, we had to trim her beak back slowly, bit by bit. Because, yeah, she just couldn't pick up food off the ground. And so in order to do that, we had to pick her up and hold her down and then clip it. And we had to do it multiple times because the quick, much like with like dogs' fingernails, like dogs' claws, if you cut off too much, there's the marrow or the quick there and it starts bleeding pretty badly. So we had to trim off little bit by little bit. So she's been handled quite a bit. So she's quite comfortable. The other two are okay with being picked up, but they're not as happy to hang around on the shoulder. I need to go to the drawing guys. Just to get that width down a little bit. That. Oi. Hay fever. Gotta love spring. One of my chickens is doing like parkour across the house. Hey Alex, how you going? Yeah, well, that'll happen eventually, Matt. I am certainly looking at a bigger postbox storage. Morning, evening, Wiley. Making Damascus. Woo. Fancy. Tell you what, swing metal was never something I thought I would ever listen to. And yet, here we are. I just noticed one of the voices on this track actually has the voice of Mr. Krabs, which is a very, very strange thing to hear. Probably still a little bit too thick. Hey, Bryant, long time no see. Oh man, yeah, large burner will be fine. Hello. Waiting for heats. It's like the number one thing that wastes time in a blacksmith shop. That's why multiple irons in the fire was the thing. And if you're wondering where to get the Brothers in Iron sticker right here, go to Valhalla Ironworks' Redbubble store. Join the Brotherhood of Iron, which is way better than the Brotherhood of Steel, although we had less power armor. Oh, might help if I turned it on. You know what would help right now, Sam? A set of stopwatches. That's about right. Cool. Back end. Might as well turn the whole bit into a bar, because I'm gonna have to use the whole lot. 3 chisels, each about 9 inches in length. Preston's good. I haven't really made any modifications. I had to re-weld the plate along here because it actually broke because it was tilting, and that's also why I added the foot underneath. I know it's off center. Don't comment on my welding. My welding sucks. I know that much. Yeah, I need to make more press dies and stuff like that, but unfortunately the plate stock that I used for the die holders is 120 by 120 by 12. So that's like 5 by 5 by half, and unfortunately buying that stock is incredibly hard. Hey Ben. Oh nice, Metal Man, good one. So I wanted to buy a bar once of 120 by half, but the problem is they won't sell it in any less length than 6 meters, and the 6 meter length of that stuff is about $500, so it's just a little bit outside my price range. Hey Eric, how you going? You're not that late. We've only just started forging out the bar stock. We haven't even started forging the chisels. Yeah, 6 meter minimum. Unless, of course, you get scrap, but finding scrap of 120 by 12 is very unlikely. Of course, those of you who follow me on Instagram will have seen my favorite new tool from Origin Blade Maker, my small wheel attachment. That'll be getting a lot of work very soon. What's on the menu? Right now we are drawing out a very large bar of 1070 to stock that I can then turn into turning chisels. Man, I need more Alan Gogol in my life. The guy's a legend. Yeah, nice, man. Oh, fair enough, Aaron. You're lucky then. I have contacted 6 different metal suppliers here in WA. all of them will only provide a 6 meter length minimum. They'll cut it up into whatever size you want, but you have to take the full 6 meters. You really can't appreciate the utility of a hydraulic press like this until you have to move big stock like this by hand. Like a project that's coming up very soon on my channel involved making some Damascus, and Preston just made that a breeze. Having done it by hand before, the juxtaposition between doing it by hand and doing it with Preston was just night and day. It actually scared me a little bit how easy it was. Yeah. I'm just making the standard set, parting tools, skiving, chisel, and gouge, roughing gouge. In the future, I'll probably end up making more for him. He wants to make bowls, but bowl gouges are normally machined rather than forged. The chisels are going to be roughly 9 inches in length, I'm thinking. And I'm aiming for about 8mm thick steel at the moment. We'll see how we go. I'm kind of playing it by ear. I've made a few turning chisels in the past. I even made a wood turning gouge on this channel very early. That was my first ever wood turning gouge, which I believe is still in use. But yeah, basically I'm just playing it by ear. But I've already drawn out this much material, and we'll draw out the rest. Whatever I don't use on chisels, I can use on knives or whatever else. His 1070 is actually a pretty decent steel. Niels Vandenberg loves it. And no one can argue that that man doesn't know anything about bladesmithing. And if anyone needs any evidence that Preston's dies are just slightly misaligned, the curve kind of gives you that. But a bit of whack forging and she's straight enough to go back in the forge. Flip it around and do the other end. I'm going to end up cutting that nub off the end, I think. It's not serving any useful purpose. You guys hear me all right? I can't hear myself because I'm wearing my hearing protection and I've got music going. No, these are presents from my dad. It's an old jackhammer bit made by the same guys who make the jackhammer bits that I use for my hex hawks. So I'm thinking it'll probably be about 1070. I will not be making the handles for this, and my dad wants to turn the handles himself. So excellent. I just wanted to make sure. I'm not sure how well the lav mic works when I'm like I've reviewed a couple of my streams, and I know that the sound is a lot better, but I don't want to be screaming into the lav mic like I normally yell at the camera when I'm doing it without the lav mic, if I can avoid it. For those of you who are interested in my horimono and engraving, I have started a Twitch channel. And before you start jumping on me, it's Alex's fault. 120 by 120 by 12, yeah. Oh, that's good, Wiley. Glad. Yeah, 120 by 120 by 12. Although if it was 125, it wouldn't matter because I could always just rip down the side. I had a train of thought. Oh, that's right. Twitch. So I've started a Twitch channel. I have yet to start. I have yet to start a stream there because I don't have a webcam. But I'm going to keep doing my live streams on Australia. On Australia? Really? Jesus, man. The brain is just fried. I'll keep doing my blacksmithing streams on YouTube. But I have decided to start a Twitch channel so that I can do my engraving. So yeah, if you're interested in checking out my engraving stuff and you know what I'm doing on that end of things, and you want to see me do it live, if you liked my like hand sanding shenanigans streams and stuff, all of that's now going to be moving over to Twitch. So the only live streams that'll be on this channel will be the Saturday stream. The main reason for that is because diversification is important, I believe, in the industry. Twitch has kind of got a very small but flourishing maker community, and it's growing by the second, and I kind of want to get in on the ground floor. You know, as far as YouTube went, the maker community started before I started my channel. And I kind of came in right after the peak of the maker community on YouTube, which means I missed out on a lot of the hype. Getting some marketing insights right now, but yeah, this is how you estimate what you should do on a platform. But yeah, so Twitch is a new place for me to try out some new things. Hey, Ola. So Twitch is just another platform. You can download the app on the App Store or on Google Play, or you can just access it by going to twitch.com or twitch.tv and starting a free account. And yeah, you can view all kinds of streams. Originally it was a gaming platform, so most of the streamers that you would follow on Twitch would be gamers, and that was what it was originally designed for, was gamers only. But recently, in recent months, there has been a growing contingent of makers starting streaming services, including Alex from Valhalla Ironworks, who you guys should all be familiar with, and his wife, Nissa Handcrafts. I was actually watching her stream this morning. She was making chainmail. So, you know, there's all kinds of fun stuff. Hey, see you, Bryson. Thanks, Wiley. Yeah, and this is the thing. Twitch is very much associated with the gaming community, and that's fine, but it's really good to see a new maker community kind of sprouting. Yeah, a little bit of tap. Tap, tap. Straight enough. I think we're ready to go to the flat dies again. Should be able to flatten all that out. Make some usable bar out of that. And that is how you turn round stock into flat stock. It's a boring and repetitive process, but it's useful. Especially given that some steel stock sizes, or some steel stock types, special alloys and stuff, only come in round stock. I'm looking at you, W2, W1. You can get it in flat stock, but God, it's a pain in the ass. Hey, Caitlin. I mean, the YouTube algorithm isn't as terrible as people keep making it out to be. Thanks, Metal Man. I appreciate that, buddy. Started twitching when I gave up training. I like it. Yeah, the thing is, like, Twitch will never be a substitute for you know, I don't think Twitch will ever be a substitute for YouTube, because Twitch is mostly a streaming platform, whereas YouTube is mainly a fixed video platform. They both have the ability to have fixed videos, but you know, and both have the ability to do streams, but YouTube is more oriented to fixed video content, view on demand content, whereas Twitch is very much live stream based. And the main reason, well, there's a couple of reasons that I want to go to Twitch, or have gone to Twitch. It's nothing to do with one. At this point, I have. And that's because it's oriented towards streaming, but it's also oriented towards viewer interaction. There's gamification of the platform, so it makes it more interesting for you guys who are watching, because you guys get more out of it. Hey, Dylan. Fillet knife, I would suggest 15 and 20 for a simple heat treat. But yeah, so, and yeah, that's also true, Matt, is that YouTube does tend to punish streamers because the view rate is much lower than a view-on-demand video. And then you can't put advertisements midway through streams, so it's not profitable. Sorry, Aaron. I've really got to do that. Thank you for the reminder. Eventually, once you keep reminding me for, you know, a number of months, eventually I'll remember. But yeah, so, and the other thing is, of course, Twitch for streaming is much more profitable than YouTube. Because while I am very fortunate that I have some very generous people like Metal Man who are willing to super chat during my live streams, which I greatly appreciate, and do not mean to belittle or anything like that. Twitch has a specific partnership program which rewards streamers just for streaming, you know, without the necessity of having donations, while the donations are still available through Twitch as well. So from a business point of view, which, like it or not, I am running a business, Twitch is going to be more profitable for me to run streams out of. But like I said, I'll still be running my Saturday smithing streams on YouTube, because that is kind of a staple of my channel at this point. And I enjoy it. And this is where all of my smithing will be staying. Twitch is going to be for my Twitch will be all of my engraving and horimono work, and my Zorgun. Depends on who you're following, though, man. I don't think Torbjörn Armand's ever done a stream. Totally not, Ben. Totally not. Yeah, the split is terrifying on YouTube for super chats. So again, go to Valhalla Ironworks shop to get your Brothers in Iron sticker. Do it. Go to redbubble.com/shop/Valhalla Iron. Way more stock than I need. But I'm kind of dedicated to getting this drawn out to a bar now. I don't think anyone's actually bought the Team Sam merch, Caitlin, funnily enough. I don't think there's anything against me advertising my PayPal. We called out Chuck 2009? When? On the welding episode. Oh! Is he? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you and me both, Aaron. You and me both. Yeah, right. That's not good. Oh well. Unfortunately, we can't have all the information. And people are shit. Like this is a persistent reality. in that area. Hey, Corey. Good idea. Politics is shit. I don't like politics. He what? Okie dokie then. Yeah, Patreon takes 5%. But Facebook takes 45. Yeah, okay. Let's, moving right along. Let's not bring that onto my channel. Jesus. I'm currently listening to the Forgecast playlist, and the song that's playing in my ears right now is perfect for this situation. I wonder if anyone can guess what song it is. I suppose you'd actually have to listen to the Forgecast playlist in order for that to happen, but... I am making turning chisels, lathe chisels. Are you talking about Ford Hallam, or are we talking about actual graders? That's it, Metal Man. You obviously don't listen to the playlist because that's not on there, but yeah. For those of you who do know the playlist, it was the only Ailstorm song on the playlist. A song that I actually put on there, so very, very poignant. Yeah. Ford Hallam. What native woods? Well, that's a very long list. But the majority of the time, if you're asking about what do we have directly available, then Jarrah, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Jarrah and Tasmanian oak. But also we have native woods like spotted gum, which is what I use for most of my hammer handles. Although now with a whole bunch of hickory handles, I'm not using the spotted gum. We do have a form of ironbark. We also have stuff like sassafras, ring gidgee, mallee, York gum, lots of different gums, like blue gum, white gum, red gum, spotted gum, various eucalypts. We have quite a variety, but most of them are hardwood evergreens. And when I say hardwood, I mean very, very hardwood. I'm not sure if you know what a Yonker rating is, or a Junker rating, some people call it. A Junker rating is, but most of our native woods have a higher Janker rating than hickory. So that should give you an idea of the hardness of the various Australian native woods. Hello. This can zoom way further in than I thought. And that's the self-facing camera. That's crazy. Yeah. We have very hard woods. Hard and stiff. Matt is an Aussie. That's correct. Yeah, stringy bark. She oak, which is one of my favorites. This block of lacy she oak that I've been making all of my engraving hammer handles out of recently. Beautiful figuring in that. You can see photos of that engraving hammer on my page. The one that I just finished engraving on is going to have the same material as the handle. But yeah, we've got stuff like Jarrah. This stuff is ubiquitous in Australia. Pretty much everywhere sells it. Ooh, rosewood. Nice. Yeah, see, the biggest problem that we have here in Australia is that while we have a variety of species of wood, in practical terms, in use, they're pretty much the same. So they're all very, very hard, very, very brittle, and they have relatively boring grain structures. You do get stuff like lacy she oak and sassafras and stuff, but they're actually the rarities rather than the common. Like you guys have maple, hickory, ash, various pines. We've got pine as well, but birch, larch, all kinds of crazy stuff that has very different physical properties as well as being different species. Our problem is that we don't have that practical difference. Okay, so I think, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to cut the tang in with my guillotine tool, available on my Etsy store, which is linked in the description below. That one is linked in the description below, Wiley. That's still very hot. I'm going to give it a decent tang length. About that much. Almost dropped it. I have beat the holy heck out of my out of my guillotine tool. Poor thing. So I was just breaking a cardinal rule. You should almost never forge with something in your hardy tool hole, unless you're using a German pattern anvil. I do what I say and not what I do. Walnut. Necky wood, no, I haven't. Man, River gum. Yeah, or if you have your hardy on the non-dominant side, that's correct. I forge for both sides of my anvil, so yeah, sometimes that's right. When I'm forging nails, funnily enough, I keep the hardy tool off to my left so that I can keep my hot cut in while I forge. It's not the smartest way to do things, but it would be better if I had a German pattern anvil, because then I'd have my Pritchell hole on my right and my hardy tool on my left, much like when Joey Vandersteeg did his demonstration on how to forge nails. Walnut's good. I've used a little bit of walnut. It was American imported because we can't grow in walnut. They're on Alex Valhalla Ironworks' Redbubble store. If you go to redbubble.com and search Valhalla Iron, you'll find his store. And while you're there, you can check out my store. I realized the other day that the store shows weird stuff like an acrylic block. If you actually hit below that shop all items, you can get the same image on pretty much anything they have in their store. So if you want a mug or a pillowcase or a sticker or anything like that, all you have to do is hit that shop more items underneath the thing that you want to buy, and that'll give you the items that you want. For some reason, it just picked one of the random items, which included an acrylic block, and I'm like, why would anyone buy that? And one of them is like a hoodie, and it's like $63 or something like that. If you just hit shop more, you can get like a t-shirt, which is only like 20. So, yeah. Fair enough, Aaron. Yeah, I used to do the same with my bottle openers, funnily enough. But I've been doing this for so long now that I know what I'm doing to the point that I don't need the practice run anymore. I just get straight into it, and if I stuff up, then I stuff up. But yeah, I used to make a bottle opener every time I fired up the forge. And I probably still should listen to what I say, do what I say and not what I do. Again, I'm really bad at practicing what I preach. It's funny, because those that do what I say tend to do better than I do. They're like, wow, that information was amazing, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. I should probably follow it myself. Ah! Miss hit. Yep. Diagonal thing time. And Jared, if you're wondering why I'm not using yours, that's because the handle snapped off. Because whatever wood that handle you sent with the double diagonal pane was, it just snapped. Windows 95. Weihenstephan is a popular one that needs a bottle opener. I can't really think off the top of my head. Bulges cider. Fair enough, Corey. I will try and be a better influence. Should practice what I preach. probably nipped off a little bit more than needed. No, I definitely nipped off a lot more than I needed, but that's all right. And I can hear you right now saying, why don't you just use Preston to draw out that tang? My answer is sometimes it's fun to swing a hammer. Ooh, that's still hot. Fix that though. This is going to make it a lot easier. For my Australian brethren who are looking for a repositionable spray adhesive, this is the Bunnings variant. I'll show you. Went to Bunnings. This is the only one that they have, and it literally is just called spray adhesive, and it's temporary and permanent. So you want to get yourself the temporary and permanent version. The one that you saw me using on the disc grinder video, this one here, was bought at an art supply store. Just a random art supply store. I think it was my local like shopping center thing. Yeah, Foster's, we don't drink Foster's. Like, Foster's is here, but no one in Australia drinks Foster's. Forex, Coronas. No, it's definitely not Australian for beer. Yeah, Foster's is shit beer. Like, it is literally a beer that we make purely for export. Yeah, no. Crocodile Dundee was wrong because Foster's paid him to say that. You realise the Crocodile Dundee wasn't made for Australian audiences. It was made for international audiences. It was basically an advertisement for Australian exports. See, Foster's for Australians is like making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water. VB. Of course, the old, if you're a bogan, which is the Australian version of a redneck, then you drink red eggs, which is emu bitter. Hey, Donut, how you going? I am making turning chisels. Or at the moment I'm making a turning chisel. I don't know if I'm going to make the whole set in a stream. I'm going to nip off the end of that tang because I don't need that much material. God, that tang is so off-center. Ugh. I'm disgusted with myself. Oh, James Bogues. Still got to make my leaf for the blacksmith's tree. Man, I'm going to be grinding that into straight, guaranteed. I don't like it. Hey, RNA is here. I can work with it. I can work with it. I could, Matt, but I'd rather stand here and bitch about it. Hey, Crawford's here, or there, or somewhere. I have no idea, Sean. I haven't really been given any kind of details other than it's a thing that's happening. If they're expecting it in any kind of hurry, then they're not going to get one from me, because I got so much crap on my plate, it's not funny. There we go, nice and central again. Persistence pays off. The shoulders look like crap, but that's okay, because I can fix that. That's what belt grinders are for. Okay, I'm going to select the length of steel and snip that off. I think this is going to be the gouge. I'm going to make the gouge in this video, and then I'll make the other two sometime. Oh man, without a striker, this is going to be such a pain in the ass. I haven't got a lathe. I had a lathe for a long time, but it was my dad's, and he eventually took it back. I actually made him take it back because I didn't need it. So I'm making him a set of turning chisels for his birthday. One of you just jump over here and help me out with this so that I can make this gouge. You know, just jump on a plane. Because I'm pretty sure like all of you are a plane flight away. Even those of you in my audience that are fellow Aussies. Yes, he knows. Well, none of it seems to be working. What can I say? You're just obviously not a real fan, because if you were a real fan, then you would be here already. Well, that's true, Metal Man. You are in the past. The only reason I did striker is because I need to make the gouge shape. You know, I need to bring it into a circle, which I'm going to have to do with a cross peen and my swage block. It would be much easier with a top fuller, a striker, and a swage block. Don't worry about it, Matt. I appreciate it. All right, ready to clip that off. Well, next time you're in Perth, Ben, just make sure to drop a line. We'll catch up. If you're ever in town again. About that much. Where's my square jaws? There they are. And we wiggle, 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 yeah. There we go. Turning gouge stock. And I should be able to get the other two out of that. Easy. We will be, Matt. One day. If anyone's willing to make a set of double wing dividers, like Blacksmith dividers, and is interested in doing a trade with me, I'm putting out the call right now. If you are interested in trading something with a relatively mediocre Bladesmith for a set of Blacksmith double wing dividers, hit me up. samtownsbladesmith@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram at samtownsbladesmith. I'm never above doing a little bit of barter. Just ask Randy and Jake Largen and stuff like that. I don't know what to trade for, so yeah, like the ones John Switzer made, that's correct. We can discuss what you want from me, what you believe would be a fair trade. Perhaps it's something that I know how to make. I hope it's something I know how to make. It might not be. I mean, Jake Largen offered to trade me for a punch scribe that I'd never made before. Now I've made two of them. I made one of them out of Damascus, of course, because why not? Something of equal value would be my idea. But as I said, that can be discussed later. I'm just letting you know that I want one. My thing is that stuff like that architectural blacksmithing, like a decent set of wing dividers, is something that I'm not overly familiar with. So it's something that I'm not comfortable with playing around with, especially because I don't plan on ever selling a set. It's not something I ever plan on stocking or putting too much time into. So I would much rather someone who's more interested in that side of blacksmithing, who may be able to do a better job than me, makes it, and I trade for it with something that I am better at making, or, you know, something that I am known for making. In the case of the punch and scribe with Jake Largen, that was more of a topic of interest. You know, I wanted to make one anyway, so that was no big deal. Randy and I are trading an apron for a hammer. Hammers are something that I make. And the cost of one of his aprons is about commensurate with one of my hammers. So yeah, it's one of those things. Blacksmith's bartering. All right, there's my little crossbeam. I think I'm gonna go with a gentle curve. I'm really glad that I have a small wheel attachment now so that I can grind the inside of this. This is going to be ugly. Getting a little bit of twist going. That's okay, I can fix that. There you go, you can see the gouge starting to take form. See you, Aaron. Hey, Logan. Jeez, about scrolls. Set of Japanese gravers, I can do that. The tools on the floor. No, you can't have the tools on the floor. There are too many tools on the floor for me to trade. And when I say wing dividers, sorry, I didn't mean like wing dividers like the ones with the thumb screw. I'm talking about the double calipers, the ones with the small and the ones with the large, for like checking widths and thicknesses. See ya, Paul. Thanks for coming on, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I could make a set of gravers. That's certainly something I could do. I mean, those wing dividers are cool. I actually want to make a set, the ones with the thumb screw. But no, I'm talking about the calipers. Because I always find myself needing to measure hot stuff while I'm forging. And a set of those would be very handy. Going to flip it around and hollow out that tang section a little bit. It's probably not necessary, but it'll look nicer. Ooh, almost dropped it in. Yeah, that would be true. Cupping tool as well. Why are you making two sets now? You need one too. Fair enough. I'm sorry, I can't read. I'm not sure if that's Arabic or Hindi or Urdu. I'm sorry, but I don't speak any of those languages or read them. I don't think it's Arabic. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could be Urdu or Hindi. It looks... I don't know. Yep, still don't know what I'm seeing. Yeah, but Hindi has the same flow, and Urdu has the same flow, so you can't really guarantee that you're right when it comes to the Arabic. West Asian languages, like, yeah, because you've got like Hindi is the Indian dialect, and then Urdu is the Pakistani dialect. spoken, funnily enough, Urdu and Hindi are almost exactly identical, except for a couple of like colloquialisms. But written, they're entirely different. So a Pakistani and an Indian can speak to each other fluently, but if they were to write something to each other, they wouldn't be able to understand, because the languages, while spoken, are the same, written are completely different. Amazing KK in the house. Yeah, I've worked with a lot of Pakistanis and Indians and stuff like that, so it's something that I learned along the way. It's funny. Sean, you're a legend. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Ah, you studied Arabic, so it is Arabic then? Like I said, I couldn't be sure. I'm terrible at spotting the difference between East Asian languages, despite the fact that I've worked with people from all throughout that area. One of my favorite co-workers was a Pakistani who was raised in England. Incredibly intelligent guy. Actually, like two of my favorite co-workers were Pakistani, funnily enough. Two different jobs for two different companies, but yeah. A lot of Pakistanis and Indians come here to Australia to study at UWA for engineering. See you, Aaron. Oh, shit. Sorry to hear that, Josh. What happened, man? Cute. Ah, well. Thank you. Oh, that sucks, Josh. Cute. Not familiar with that one, Ouroboros. Like, obviously I can read the hiragana, but I don't know what that word actually means. Yes, I am that much of a weeb that I am learning Japanese. Well, this is actually going a lot better than I thought it was going to go. Yeah, I'm currently learning Japanese and French. Actually, the stool is a huge spring, funnily enough. Good going. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Josh. That really sucks. I'm currently listening to Sabaton, so... Hey, Joel. How you going, man? They're not all snooty folks. Only Parisians. Yeah, awesome, Josh. That sounds good. Getting back into forging, that's always a good way to go. Spanish. I had someone pretend they were Spanish in a message to me on Insta. It was hilarious. They contacted me, and it was one of those Instagram pages that was like, had one photo, like 100 followers, and it was just this generic, like, stock photo of a blonde girl. And they were like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hello." And the next sentence they came out with, I can't even repeat because it was just gibberish in English. And I was like, "Where are you from?" And "I'm from Cavinia in California." And I was like, "No, you're not." And she's like, "Why do you say that?" And I said, "Because English is very obviously not your first language." And she's like, "Oh, well, I was brought up in Spain, but now I'm in California." And I was like, "Oh, habla español." And she just boop, did not understand. And I was like, "Wait, you were brought up in Spain, but you don't speak French?" It was hilarious. Yeah, fair enough, Sean. I learned Italian for 12 years. Like, from year 1 all the way through to year 12, I was learning Italian. I can count to 100 in Italian, but I can't remember a single thing otherwise because I hate Italian. But I love French, so, you know, God knows why. Yeah, that's cool. I'm always happy to see people from different walks of life. I believe that is... No, it's the same person. I still can't read what they're saying, but Corey's obviously not doing his job. You can do the same in French. Excellent. I'm still learning how to count in French. Like, it's still not something that I'm super confident with. I can count higher in German, Italian. I used to be able to count in Dutch. But now, yeah, I can only count to like 10, no, 11 or 12 in French, which is sad. But I can even count even lower in Japanese. Because funnily enough, numbers isn't something they focus on in Duolingo, at least in the beginning. So I've kind of gone beyond just cupping the surface now. I'm actually drawing it out laterally a little bit. trying to accentuate that curve, make it all curvy. Might switch over to a wider peen just to give it a little bit more smooth definition. Should have asked Hans for a cross peen rather than a straight peen. Because now I figured out that I use a straight peen very little. Hey Logan, thank you, man. See you later. Yeah, making a lathe gouge. That's correct. 15 different languages. That's incredible. Didn't have enough to pay him. Fair enough. Well, you know, I can't blame you too much, Eric. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? 1, 2, 3, yeah. Yeah, I speak those 3 languages too, Corey. Yeah, I can count to 10 in French, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it's 11, 12, and then I lose the train of thought. I can count to 10 in Japanese, which is ichi, ni, san, chi, go. Is ichi, ni, san. It's not shi anymore. It's not nana. The Japanese changed the word for 4 because shi, which used to be 4, also means death. And so it's ichi, san, chi. It's ichi, san. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I can't remember. It's the same reason why they changed 7, because 7 used to be shichi, which is, again, death. So they changed it to nana. 6 is roku, so yeah, your Japanese may be colloquial though. That's the big thing, is that they changed this around 1945, 47, like just after the war. Colloquially, she is still technically true, but according to their syllabuses now, I'm still pointing up, damn. According to their learning syllabus, she is now no longer correct. Oh, it's yon. Ugh. How did I forget? Yeah, it's ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, nana, hach, and I've forgotten the word for 9. Possibility. Oh, my bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. An up and quarter. Bring us sugar and tea and rum. to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. I learned different French. No, that's Japanese. I don't think Adam's here, no. Yeah. So it's, yon. Yon is the word for four in Japanese now, which doesn't flow off the tongue as well. So ichi, ni, san, shi, go sounds good, but ichi, ni, san, yon, go, it's just, such a split. And that's why I keep forgetting it. Sound of silence. Bell. Yeah, I'm a little tense about tenses in Japanese. I haven't started that segment and I'm not looking forward to it. Tenses in any language are a massive pain in the butt. Anyone who's learned a separate language knows that tenses are where the real difficulties begin. You can't see what I'm doing, I'm just tapping on it. Just trying to straighten it out. But it looks pretty damn straight now. I'm honestly thinking that's done, so there you go. That is a forged turning gouge. It's a roughing gouge, so it's not super aggressive. It's about 9 inches in length, I'm pretty sure. No, probably not, it's about 7 inches. I cut it way shorter than I wanted to. Yeah, like bang on 7 inches. So yeah, there you go. You can see the curve in there. It's hard to see with the scale. But yeah, there you go. Nice and straight. The sides are a little weird, but I'll fix that in the grinding. Tang's a little chunky, but that's okay. It needs to support all that weight while it's being used. And I will, of course, make the other sets in the near future out of the bar that I have left. Yeah, see, English is one of the most complex languages to learn. It's just that because we're English, because we're from English-speaking countries, it's standard for us. So yeah. Yeah. Cute. Yeah, well, so Q is, oh man, yeah, and then it's the little fish with a line through it. I still kind of remember I'm trying to memorize hiragana, the hiragana kanji, and then when I because I'm doing katakana now, so I'm trying to memorize the katakana as well, and I can basically read hiragana Like, I can read out a word that's written in hiragana. It doesn't mean that I know what it means, because I have no idea, but I can read it out. I can sound out a word that's written in hiragana, which I'm happy with. It's just katakana is now killing me because it now involves chugokana, which is the Chinese lettering that people associate with Japanese stuff, but it's actually technically Chinese. It's a massive head fuck. And if you're wondering what I was singing right then, that was the Wellerman from The Longest Johns. They're a sea shanty band. I speak English and bad English. So you speak English and American. Akasa. Don't know that. Chugakana. So that just says Akasa. I have no idea what the last lettering is. Again, katakana I'm learning. So, slowly. Mimi. Met. You learn all this, the stupid shit when you start. The way I keep reminding myself is that I've been doing Duolingo for exactly 24 days. So I'm 24 days in, and I'm doing roughly 20 minutes a day. So you end up with about, roughly, like a week's worth of study. And so I'm basically reading at the same level that a year one Japanese child would be reading. Like, I've got to keep it in perspective. Kids don't learn to speak fluent English in Australia until, they speak it relatively okay by the time they're 5 or 6, but they don't normally get really good at it until they're 14, 15, maybe even 20 in some cases. See you later, Techron. Yeah, charcoal's way easier to find than coal, and you can make it yourself, so it's just a lot easier. But yeah, it's one of those things where I've got to keep in mind that I'm basically like a child when it comes to learning Japanese. Well, download Duolingo. It's actually a really good way to learn. You can do as little or as much as you want. It keeps encouraging you to keep up with your studies. It'll teach you tenses and all that kind of stuff, but it starts out very, very slow. It starts out with very basics, learning, basic phrasing, basic pronunciation. So Duolingo is a great app, and I've been using it to learn both French and Japanese simultaneously, so it's been really fun. But yeah, just keep in mind, one of the things that people run into is that they end up thinking that they should be fluent in it after like a week, but realistically it takes years, so... San Toga-san. Yeah, see, that's in katakana, Wiley, so I can't read it. Android has translate. Fair enough. Because yeah, that's. Damn, I'm drawing a blank on the first two katakana symbols, but I can read doga and then san after the chugakana, and then it's te ko. No, it's tekoyo? And then it's she or she. Man. It's boring. My brain has died. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not that advanced in actually reading katakana yet. I've only just started katakana like yesterday, so I'm still learning. Yeah, lump charcoal is great. Yeah, good old German. I understand a lot of it because especially recently, I've been watching a gaming channel called Vade, and he plays a lot of Postscriptum, which is a World War II based squads game. And one of the coolest things is that he plays Wehrmacht, but he also all of the communications in German, so it feels real. It's great. The communication that he has with his team, and when they run tanks and stuff like that, they do Panzer tanks and Tiger tanks. The communication between them, especially because it's in German and they're playing as the Wehrmacht, the Germans are. It's so cool. It's very, very, kind of in depth. He also speaks fluent French, and he does games of Postscriptum playing as the French, speaking in French. It's just incredible. He's also fluent in English. It's amazing. So I love watching his channel purely for the. I don't mind watching a bit of game streams and stuff like that occasionally, but I think the immersion of having him speak the languages and have the communication in the same languages is just amazing. Love it. So yeah, I've been learning German through that, and I kind of picked up. Hast du nicht Schlüssel? I have no idea. Taught sign language. That's cool. Actually, funnily enough, it's been proven that the more languages you learn at once, the better off you are. I have a friend of mine who learned 3 languages at once, and he already knew English. And he made leaps and bounds. I've been finding it really interesting learning Japanese and French at the same time. I thought it would be a real struggle, but when I get tired of learning Japanese, I just switch over to French, and it's fresh and it's new, and it keeps me interested. So it's good practice. I haven't been keeping up with my lessons as much as I should be. I'm only doing about 10 to 20 minutes a day at the moment. Should be doing more than that, but I really want to learn sign language. That's one thing that Duolingo doesn't do. Gemma, I have no pen. Right. I don't know much German. Like, I can count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Links. Rechtszig. I don't know. Du hast. For those of you who are learning German from Ramstein. I actually learned how to pronounce that colloquially. Just purely for I just do it purely for fun. I learned it for the pronunciation. So willst du bist der Tatu scheiden, treuer sein für alle Tagen. So yeah, it was one of those things where I wanted to learn the mouth sounds, because one of the biggest problems I have with people learning separate languages is that they don't learn how to pronounce the languages properly. They keep the same accent and they try and pronounce foreign words. Like, I hear people trying to learn Japanese and they go san, yon, that kind of thing. San, yon. They try, you want to be able to make the same mouth noises, the same accents as the language you're speaking. So that's one of the reasons that I try and practice the languages in their own kind of place. Bobby's been around for a while. Yeah, that's one of the weird things about sign languages, because there are different sign languages for each country. It's annoying. I wish there was just like a generic English sign language, but there's not. Well, I mean, there's British Sign Language, but then there's Australian version, US version, all that kind of stuff. It's just annoying. But yeah, so that being said, lesson language is over. We made the roughing gouge for my dad, and now that I have my OBM small wheel attachment, I'm going to find out which small wheel fits the... Nope. It'll be my 1-inch small wheel. We'll fit that. So I'll be able to grind out the center. And then I got to grind an edge on it. It's already got the taper on it, which is good. Rolling your R's. Your R's. Ugh. Just pretend you're Marge in The Simpsons. Or gargle a lot of mouthwash. It depends. If you're speaking like Gaelic languages, then the rolls are all in the front of the mouth, so the tip of the tongue, whereas French is all in the back. That kind of thing. And German does a bit of both. I used to work with a French guy, and he'd walk up to me and say, "Hey, bonjour Sam, qu'est-ce que se passe?" And I'd say, "Toute la merde." And anyone who knows a little bit of French knows what that means. Speaking German in a heavy Saxon accent, that would be interesting. Keep it PG, sure. Oh, the rain is here. Just on time. Yes, of course. Thanks for jumping in, Sparks. All the bad words. That's it. All right, well, I'm going to jump off. I've got 2 more turning chisels to make before the end of the day, and then I've got more engraving to do for the video that's coming this week. So the next video coming up is me using the gravers that I showed you how to make in the last one. Hey, Big Stack. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for jumping in. Right in the end. Any of you who don't know who Big Stack D is, you should go check out his channel. He does awesome stuff over there. I really loved that Nordic Gold play button you made recently, dude. It was amazing. I only just recently made some Nordic Gold myself, so that was very cool. But yeah, there you go. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little stream of me making a turning chisel. I will be back on Saturday at 9 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time next week. I've also got a video coming out this Wednesday on how to use the engraving chisels that I showed you how to make last week. And I do have a collaboration video that I'm working on at the moment. You're welcome, Big Stack. I'm glad you're still getting use out of them. If you ever need any more, let me know, and we'll set something up. But yeah, so I do have a collaboration video that I'm working on at the moment. I want to finish the piece that we made together, myself and another bladesmith, before I put that video up. So that's why it's taking so long. I've got to explain that to him because he keeps asking me where the video is. But anyway, I will see you all next week. Have a fantastic weekend and stay safe out there. Have a good one, guys.